Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Great League again, and we're gonna run this slightly different team, running the Mandibuzz Medicham Gligar. That's right, regular Gligar, not the Gligar. So we'll see if this team is gonna work out. Here we're gonna have the Mandibuzz faced with the Mantine here. The Mantine does reveal that it is running the Ice Beam. Luckily, the Mandibuzz is tanking up to tank the Ice Beam, so we didn't have to shield the first one. Second one, we have to consider shielding. Here, we're going to be going for these Dark Pulses. Oh, by the way, we are running the Dark Pulse and Aerial Ace on the Mandibuzz for slightly bigger damage. Of course, Mandibuzz potentially could be running Foul Plays as well, but we're choosing to use the Dark Pulse that does slightly more damage. And here you can see it came in clutch. The Mandibuzz actually wins against the Mantine in the one shield. So much so we are able to get to another Aerial Ace, force out a shield against this Garbage. So luckily this Gligar here is able to tank any of the charge moves that they decide to throw at us. So we didn't have to shield there. And we are running the Medicham with Dynamic Punch, basically just to do a little bit more stab damage, same type attack bonus against other things. Clearly, we don't want our own Medicham to face against Deoxys or opposing Medichams. But we're going to see if we can wiggle our way out of this situation. We are only going to be throwing Ice Punches here. This Defense Deoxys has been throwing a bunch of Psycho Boosts to deep up themselves, so kind of an interesting thing that they're doing. Basically, a bunch of Psycho Boosts and dip. Here, we were not able to farm down after our dig, and we're going to be forced to shield here. We decided to shield because we want this Gligar to be healthy enough and out of range of a potential Psycho Boost coming from this Defense Deoxys. And here's the moment of truth. Did that shield come in clutch? Yes. We are out of range of the Psycho Boost, and we are able to get to another Aerial Ace, and that is GG's right there. In a way, you can think of this team as an ABA team. We got a Flyer, Mandibuzz, you got the Medicham, and then you got the Gligar, another Flyer. So if you want to think about it that way, you definitely want to avoid the Galvantulas when the Flyers are out. But if you do run into it, you unfortunately do have to stay in. Here, it does look like there was a CMP, and the Shadow Galvanish was going to win that regardless. Here, we decided to get the one shield and then dip out. I know I said we don't want to switch out, but if we are able to get that shield, we'd rather take that advantage going to the back. And our opponent actually ends up switching into the Scrafty. So this Scrafty doesn't have a great matchup against this Gligar. We're going to be basically getting to 2 Aerial Aces before they can take us out. So they decided to let it go, and they revealed that they have the Umbreon. So they had a double Dark Team in the back, protected by the Galvantula. And here we are just basically doing chip dash. We tried to catch a move right there. Unfortunately, we did not catch the move, but it did allow us to get a little bit of energy head start so we can throw this Aerial Ace to force out this last shield. And we are able to get this Aerial Ace if we decide to shield. We decide to shield just for the damage. They do get the lunge off. So this is, we're going to actually just go for the Dark Pulse because we can only get to one move at this point. And then this is GG's because we are able to get to farm down, and now we're going to have a lot of energy to throw at this Umbreon. And they haven't seen it yet, but we do have the Medicham in the back with the Dynamic Punch. So as soon as they see this, it should be GG's, and there you go, GG's. So you can use this team like an ABA team. It is going to be fairly weak to Fairy types. Clearly, Mandibuzz and Medicham can be broken up with any kind of Fairy types. So speaking of Fairy types, this Carbink has Fairy moves, but its fast move is not Fairy. We actually are resisting the fast moves, and we are able to call their first move there. That Carbink was either only one moved, or they knew that we had Dynamic Punch. So GG's to our opponent right there. They decide to just give up that situation. All right, next game here, we have a... Okay, so the Azumarill switch-in is slightly problematic as well. This Azumarill, specifically this one, is running the Hydro Pump. Good thing for us, we did shield the Hydro Pump, but the goal of this is just to do enough damage so we can either farm it down later. So the fact that they threw the Hydro Pump reveals that they have Play Rough Hydro Pump and they don't have Ice Beam. So we're just going to 2 shield and farm this down and hope for the best. Gligar coming out with some energy, you know, it's still pretty good. Even though we don't have any shields, we're going to try to force out some shields at this point. Luckily, this jump up is running the Bullet Seed version, so we're not quite taking that much damage. Our opponent actually ends up switching out into their Shadow Hypno, which our Mandibuzz is just going to have a great time with, because unless our opponent is just running some kind of weird fast move, we are resisting the fast moves. We are going to be having to tank some of these Thunder Punches, but luckily the Mandibuzz is tanky enough to absorb 2 Thunder Punches right here. So we do force out the second shield right there, and now we're going to be able to get to another Dark Pulse. That Dark Pulse does KO the Shadow Hypno, so we're in a fantastic position. 2 shielding versus that Azumarill ended up being the game and the play of the game, because the Azumarill was actually really bad for our entire line. So lucky for us, our opponent ended up just letting it go, and we were able to clutch it up. The Gligar with the extra energy ended up doing some really important damage. Here we have the Galvantch again. We're going to try our best to, first off, not have our move CMP tied on the first try here. They decided to go for the Discharge, and we're going to throw on better optimal timing. So this time we didn't get debuffed, but they actually went for the Discharge. So we did tank more damage, and at least we got a shield here. And this time we were trying to get to another move, but we do not get it. That is really bad for us and really good for them. They are actually able to get to farm down. Okay, and our opponent is just continuing throwing Discharge. Okay, there's the lunge. And we're just going to farm it down. That Gligar coming in clutch again. We decided to switch out. They decided to switch out, counter swap into their Talonflame. And we're going to try to throw this Dynamic Punch surprise. They are probably thinking they can survive a Psychic no matter what, which is true. And then here we're going to save some of these shields for the Gligar. And we're hoping that we can just do enough damage towards this Talonflame so we can farm down with the Gligar. We do get the shield, and our opponent realizes that we're trying to get this low enough to farm it down. So we decided to let it go. Here, we're going to throw the Aerial Ace after their one fast move so we can get a little bit of energy. And now we are in a great spot. We have 2 shields to use against the Swampert. Even though the Swampert does get to this move relatively quickly, we are going to try to throw on optimal timing here. We had a decision to make whether to go for basically potentially 2 digs or 3 aerial aces. So I'll have to go back and look at it, but in that situation, I think the aerial was a little bit better. So check out this team if you haven't, and hope you enjoyed the video.